Hello everyone, it's Noel from Noel's Nook, and we're back with a product review. As some of you may know if you've been following the channel for a while, last year I bought my first set of alcohol-based markers. And it's been almost a year now, and so I feel comfortable to give you guys a complete review of this product, the Blick Studio line of markers. Just a note, this is not a sponsored video in any way. I did buy these with my own money last year, and I was not asked by anybody to review these. This is just my own opinion, so take them with a grain of salt if you will. If you love these markers, great. If you hate them, fantastic. Also, just a note, these are the only alcohol-based markers I have used, so I won't be comparing them to any competitor products like Copic. Blick currently offers these two styles of markers. They are both dual-ended, but as you can see from the label, oops, one has a bullet or fine nib and the other has a brush tip. But they do both have chisel tips, so that's awesome. But anyway, one is this more round barrel kind of shape here, and this one is octagonal. But we're actually going to focus more on this one for the first part of the review, so let's get into that. Alright, let's talk about this marker. So it has a sticker label. You can see the lip here. And this color does actually swatch pretty closely on paper, so that's pretty nice. My only gripe with the way they did this label is that this is the color name right here. So if you had a color chart and you were looking for this color specifically, I mean, look how tiny that is. So you have to turn the marker all the way around and then squint to find the color that you're looking for. So that's pretty much my only gripe with the label. What I do like is that the barrel, since it is round, they included these stops on the caps here. You can see them here, these notches. And now that's helpful when you're casually coloring and you drop your marker on the surface. Actually, it's not even using the stops. So the only way it really moves is if you push it. But even then, it's pretty great. So about these caps, they're not too difficult to take off. I say that and then I can't get this one. Ugh, there we go. But anyway, these caps, they are interchangeable, so if you take a cap off of one side, you can place it on the other side. Also, they are stackable, so you can put them on top of each other, which I like to do whenever I color. That way I don't lose the cap. Also, they did include a swatch on the top, so if you're storing your markers in such a way that that's more convenient for you, at least you have the swatch of color here. However, they don't include the name, and also they don't have a numbering system either, which I will get to in a minute with the other set of markers because I just found that so funny. Alright, so we're going to move on to the brush tipped marker. So this one, I love how sleek these look. These are awesome. They feel great in the hand. The other ones feel good in the hand too. I forgot to mention that. But anyway, these are not really clearly named. The name is here by the barcode, as well as in the caps themselves. So that's great. But the caps, they are interchangeable, just like the other. So if you take one off of one side, you can change it with the other. However, they are not stackable, which is kind of annoying. So that means I have to remember where my cap is. But also, like I said, they have a weird numbering system. So I will actually show you how these look in order. I bought the set of 96 markers. It is 95 colors and one colorless blender. And when you open the package, you get 4 trays of markers. So it comes in this kind of plastic film type of tray here. If you buy the brush tip markers, they actually come packaged a lot more professionally. They come in these plastic boxes, which I really love them, even though they're pretty much only suited for these markers. But yeah, they come really nice. So again, there's a set of 96 markers total, 95 colors, and one colorless blender. The way I've used these markers, I've only used them with either Bristol, the Blick Bristol paper that they sell on their website. I've used a thinner cardstock. I unfortunately don't really know the poundage of it because it was free. just free random paper, and I've also used a Strathmore multimedia sketchbook. So unfortunately, I don't have any experience with other kinds of paper, but I do have examples of the papers that I just talked about. Depending on the paper you use, you're going to need a couple of layers. It also depends on what color you use. I noticed that when I do skin tones, especially lighter skin tones, I need to use a couple more layers of certain colors. Like if you can see up here, this color Beach is super light, but I do like it for more highlighted areas. I also use the colorless blender too. So yeah, that's something to note if you have super pale characters. But overall though, they hold up and they blend really well. Like I use several different colors on here and it looks pretty great. But this is the Blick Bristol that I was talking about. So, I mean, they hold really well and they blend really well on this paper. Let me see. Some of my other Inktober's I did on this cardstock. Now, I didn't use as many layers. This is probably maybe one layer. Oh, there's a girl there. Hey, how you doing? But, yeah. They didn't bleed too much because I didn't layer as much. I think one did. Maybe that one? No. This one? Yeah. I layered him a little bit, so he did bleed, but I used the brush marker for this. If you were to use the chisel tip, which gives a lot more color, like it just bleeds everywhere. It just gets all over the place. So you definitely have to use the correct tip. That was with chisel tip mostly, I think, and that's why it's kind of streaky. I actually didn't blend too much with this one. I didn't feel like it. I just kind of wanted to color that day, I think. But let me see. Yeah, Shiro's, I noticed, I don't know if it was how I colored or the way I colored, but if you watch the video of this and then look at this now, his coloring is like really off. He's more yellow than he was supposed to be. Like down here where his hand is a little bit shaded, I don't know what happened to all the shading that I did. So that's definitely something that's a little worrisome with these markers, is that maybe some of them fade over time. It does say that they're fade resistant, but I just thought that was interesting. Now, I did this in March of last year, and I definitely noticed that a lot of the shading off of his face is like, it's gone. And I'm pretty sure I shaded his face. So that's a little bit interesting, but maybe it's only with certain colors. I know certain colors have better fade resistance than others. It just depends on the pigment used. So that's the cardstock. Now I have to, there we go. So this is my multimedia sketchbook, and I did do some marker illustrations in this as well. So yeah, we did this. This is holding up pretty, I wasn't really sure. This is holding up pretty good, but it looks pretty awesome. And I did use all the colors at the bottom here. And I did that in November. So yeah. I also did a couple of Sailor Moon stuff. Let me see. I've been practicing a lot. Okay. So this is with markers and also other things. So the colors are holding up pretty good so far. Now these I just recently did, so. Here's another one. And then there's Sailor Mercury, and I haven't done any more since then. The only thing I did notice when I was layering shading is that you get kind of the that white poking through the texture of the paper, because there is a tooth to this. It's a very fine tooth, but there is still a tooth to this. And when you use markers, you kind of want, you don't want as much of a tooth. You want something that's pretty smooth. That way you don't ruin the nibs of your markers. Currently, Blick offers each marker set at about $199.16. We'll round that out to about $200, making each marker in the set a little over $2 a piece. Of course, they sell their markers individually as well for almost $3. They do offer bulk discounts as well as coupon codes, saving you even more money. That about wraps it up for this review. Thanks for joining me, and let me know in the comments below if you love working with markers, or if you love a certain brand of markers. Who knows? And remember to draw what you love what you draw, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care! Both are dual-ended, but wait a sec. As you can see, the color the label. And remember to draw what you love what you draw, and I'll see you in the next one.